I am Jamal Brown. I present myself as he, him, those are my pronouns. And I am an activist, an artist. I love delving into what is cultural, not just on a myopic level. However, the predominant work that I do is centered around Blackness.
And I am Lisa McLymont. I identify as she, her, sometimes they, but mostly she, her. And I am a multidisciplinary artist, artist, designer, painter, sculptor. I work in the realm of social justice using art. So I focus on using my art to convey feelings of hope, power, and whether that's for females or for LGBTQ or Black people or Black and brown people. I really am trying to use my power for good.
So currently, I work at the Lincoln Theater. I'm the associate director for that house. I also serve as the educational and cultural arts curator for the King Arts Complex, along with serving on the Columbus Arts Commission. But also in community, I work with other organizations to develop dance, social justice work. Been doing quite a bit of that. Prior to that, and I still have my finger in it, I served as a superintendent for a consortium of charter schools around the state of Ohio. So working to empower young people, especially those who have dropped out of high school and are trying to get back into school. So I serve 15 to 21-year-olds who are just wanting their diploma and who the district has pretty much given up on, and they've given up on the district. And so we go in and we work with those students to get them prepared for job readiness. Some we've sent off to college, but just the feeling of accomplishment from a 19 or 20-year-old who says, oh my God, I'm graduating next week. Like, that feeling never ceases to warm me. And when I attend graduations, even now, although I'm out of that field, when I attend graduations now, this sense of accomplishment from families who stand there and say, this is the first one that made it out. Like, what? Especially coming from a very staunch background where college was not a non-negotiable in our house, and my mother could not afford to send any of us to school, but her words were, you need to figure out how you're going to school. And that was the push and that was the directive. So working with kids who don't have that motivation at home and working with people who don't come from that is so empowering, because now there's an empathy that's developed. There's a sensitivity that is understood from principal down to the janitor that these are our responsibilities. And I love that feeling, I love that sense. So a lot of work around just what community is and how you engage. No, it's not okay for you to sit back and allow wrong to happen. No, it's not okay for you just to sit back and assume somebody else will take care of it. When your hand is to the plow, make it work, cultivate something more, which is why I love my city. I love Columbus for that reason, because I know the history of this place, and I know what it could be, and I know what it has turned into, but I also know the remedy for how to get it back to where it should be.
I am currently the Director of Creative and Brand Marketing Strategy at Equitas Health. It was a hard one, hard won role that I'm very proud to be standing in. It's a journey to get here. But before that, and while I'm doing that, I have been working as an independent artist. So I liked being a free agent because I was able to work with or collaborate with a lot of other artists in the area, a lot of organizations. So in the time, 25 years, I've worked on a lot of programming for the arts. So Columbus Open Studio and Stage was one thing that I helped start. Art and Artist of, which is a group that's still going on Facebook, even though I walked away from that group. Very dramatic group. But I was one of the people to help start the group, and it was really encouraging people to talk about and support other artists. And 614 is just an amazing community of support of all ages and all walks. But you say you're an artist and you're in there and you get the support if you need it, or you can support others if you need it. Both Jamal and I have been founding members of Black Out and Proud,
Yes.
which started in 2017, and they're doing a lot of work now in supporting the youth in education and advancing community in a really real way. So through the years, I've just used my talent as a designer. I went to school for design, and I'm a self-taught artist, but both of them work together to make me who I am and empower me to share more of my heart with the world. And I see that that resonates. The work that I do has resonated and engaged other people to come to the table to do more work for our community, and that really is enriching for me. When I started at Equitas Health, it was called AIDS Resource Center, Ohio, and it was more of a grassroots organization. At that point, they'd been in business as a conglomerate for about 25 years, and they had basically rolled in a lot of organizations like Columbus AIDS Task Force and Project Open Hand and a bunch of other organizations in Ohio to become who they are, and AIDS was what was driving it. And through the years, we fought really hard to reduce the impact of AIDS. HIV is now a thing, but a lot of people are living with it. So in 2016, I'd been there 2 years, we rebranded and became Equitas Health, and that became an opportunity for us to look at services beyond the AIDS population. So now we look at the whole person for healthcare, and that's from mental health and recovery services and harm reduction of drug use. We are now a federally qualified health care center. So I guess we're not really officially that. We're a duplicate of that. That's the wrong word. Anyway, we're qualified to be able to serve people in poverty and the marginalized, and we get funding to support that work. So it kind of follows with all of the volunteer work and service that I've done for community organizations, that I get to sit in this role and help build marketing that supports that work. So 5 years of that. In 2019, ownership of our department changed hands, and this person made it their mission to push me out, and they were successful in it. Instead of raising a stink about what happened, I just left, and I thought I was leaving that behind, and I thought I was going to be a full-time artist, but I was given the opportunity last year, it's been a year now, to talk about what happened to me, and Dispatch came out with an article that showed how racism was so pervasive in the organization, and as a result, it got the person that shut me out of the organization. So 3 years after I left, I ended up being instrumental in changing over to a way to get more people of color in power in that community way. Like, I'm not saying we're going to pick up the same tools and like use them against everybody. Like, really more inclusive. And I came back. I was invited back to an organization that is very conscious and empathetic and wanting to be of service to the community, and that's exciting to stand with so many people that want to do that.
When Lisa contacted me, like, are you interested in this? And I'm like, yes, this is amazing, and thank you for thinking of me. And the little bit of time that I have been on the commission has been very eye-opening. It's been very eye-opening. And I get why Lisa said, can you do this? There has to be, in a city, in a metropolis such as ours, representation. There's absolutely no reason why there can't be. Part of the reason why there hasn't been is we've not been in the position to be able to say, hey, Jamal, I think you need to be on this. I think we need, and like, we don't get to do that. And now I'm seeing more and more, we have the opportunity to do it, but people are not doing it.
No, I have to thank Mary Gray, who is also on the commission, for seeing something in me and inviting me to be on the commission, to give me that opening to say we need more people of color out here. We have Eliza Ho, who is Asian, and that's great because she comes from an architect background and a space design background. We're all steeped in the arts in some way. We all have different pieces of what we do. I am an active visual artist working, so some of the proposals that come in for public art, sometimes I have to bow out, or abstain from my vote. And I purposely picked you because you're a dancer, you're not doing murals or anything like that, so you can have a strong voice and never have to step back from choosing to vote on something.
Gotcha.
Now, outside of the fact that you are a powerful person and I don't see you in roles where you can utilize that power, is another reason why I was like, I really want to know. Because we need to share the wealth of like how we can lead. And it can't always be the same people doing things and saying yes over and over again.
Right.
One, it's exhausting, and two, it's like there are a lot more people here. So you don't always have to be, you white people don't always have to go and invite those people, those five people.
Those five people.
To the same things,
And part of that conversation is that those five people have become safe.
True, and I'm walking that line too. I am aware of where I sit, which is why
I don't see.
Yes.
Lisa, I don't see it.
Well, what's funny is in a lot of, I just know, I've worked and I know a lot of white people who have risen to leadership positions, and I'm safe in that sense because I'm a known to them. Like,
okay.
They know I'm willing to speak out about things,
yes, you are.
But I'm also very diplomatic in how I speak out about
Correct.
things, so it's safer to them in some ways. I get in there and they feel unsafe sometimes, so
You're right.
I pride myself on that.
Do it so well.
But yeah, I do find myself, at a crossroads a lot of times, and sometimes I look around and I am the only black person, let alone the only gay person.
Yeah.
But from a visual standpoint, I am the only black person a lot of times. So bringing in other people that I know I could work well with, that I know have a voice that they could use or willing to use, we're starting to see who's willing to step into these roles. And it is fascinating, but there's a safety thing too.
There is. I just want people to, particularly those who have the ability I'll use the word manipulate systems, to be able to tag some people and say, come on and learn this thing.
And that is exactly what I am.
Yeah, and that's what I love, is that, the example is set, like, okay, so now as I'm in these places, and a good example is, just did some work with Columbus Symphony Orchestra. And
what work was that?
So this past weekend, they did Christmas with the Pops. And so they were like, hey, Jamal, we would like you to help us out with, maybe representing something from the community. And I'm like, oh, well, you don't have Kwanzaa. I will, write a work that's specific to the creativity, Kaumba for Kwanzaa. And I'm like, oh, great. Did a dance for it, did the narration for it. It was great. It was a hit. In that conversation, like as we're building the conversation, like, hey, we're trying to do this kind of Aretha Franklin tribute. I'm like, okay, who you got singing?
Ooh.
Right, who you have singing? We don't know. Okay, let me introduce you to, Greg Watkins and his chorale. They're local to the city. They're incredible vocalists. Bring them in, brought them into the table. I'm like, hey, Greg, this is what the such and such is. This is what they're trying to do, you know. And then we let them have the conversation. And now they're like, oh my God, we're in contract with them. They're amazing. We're going to do such and such. We're going to try to build more in this, because if we have opportunity to open the door for exposure, our charge is to make sure that we do that. And we're not side selecting or, you know, because if Greg was horrible, I'm not recommending you. You know, there's some things that you need to do in order to better yourself, but you have demonstrated you have prowess in this area. So definitely, this is what we do. And my fear is that we don't see a lot of that. I see.
But you said the root of why, I think, is they have to be vetted. I mean, that's for the good and the bad of it. You know, like, you don't want to recommend somebody because you believe in them and then watch them fail because either they didn't have the tools, they didn't ask the questions, or they really just didn't have the, you know, the talent to do the work.
Right.
And that all that is fine. It's just being really conscious about how you educate yourself to choose to push someone into a role.
That's real.
That's important work.
That's real. Yeah, because again, that conversation, the pre-conversation was, your contract should look like this. These are the things that they're going to be asking for. This is what you need to be able to say to them, you know, and not like, it's coaching, but like, because we've been in those circles and in those spaces, I know what to expect from that.
Yeah, there is some mentorship in that.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know, put those people out there and then you check in on them.
Yeah.
Regularly. Just to make sure that their questions are being answered, they feel supported, they don't feel like an outlier, which happens, you know. I am Lisa McLymont, and I'll spell it because it's only one C. LisaMclymont.com, and you can type that into Instagram and Facebook and Twitter right now, but I'm going to be leaving Twitter. And LinkedIn, and I follow things on TikTok, but I don't really share.
I can be reached, Gamal Brown, all one word, GamalBrown. That is my my tag on IG and on Facebook.
So on today's episode of Say What Say Yoga's mindfulness movements, we are delving into space. Literally.
I love it.
And really creating a really quick, accessible practice for people like Lisa who work in an office setting, and even as an artist, you're sometimes in a chair setting. So I know sometimes when we're thinking about being at work, we wish we were with our loved ones or some of the things we love to do instead, even though we might love our work. Sometimes there's moments of yearning and wishing we were in a different space and energy. So today we're talking about how we can actually bring a sense of peace and acceptance with being in the workspace, a sense of comfort in the workspace, and just drawing some of the things we love. So I brought What You Love space today.
Love that shirt.
Are you getting?
I'm getting it, and I need it. It's a hectic day today.
And my
so
shirt says give me some space. And one of the practices that has to do with space and spatial energy is feng shui. Have you heard about feng shui?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the challenges of working in a kind of a stationary setting sometimes as an artist in a chair, or even being in the office setting, which can be somewhat confining.
You threw me off track with the feng shui thing.
We'll come back to that.
Okay. Because I was going to say, number one, fluorescent lighting is not my jam. But I do find myself sitting quite a bit, whether I'm doing my artwork or sitting at work, going to meetings. I find that I tend to lock my body in and stay focused on what I'm doing, and I'm very rarely taking breaks. Because I know, there's that timer thing, like, do a stretch, and I'd never do that because my brain is just like monkey brain, so busy. So this is good because today is especially busy, and we're going to do some yoga, and I'm going to calm down.
So let's talk a little bit about feng shui and your use of feng shui maybe not the literal sense, but we all know it has to do with the movement of objects and creating space and working with the energy in the space. How do you do that in your office or in your studio?
I would say the knowledge that I have of feng shui is limited in the sense of when I enter spaces, I tend to be aware of where my back is in relation to the door. The lighting, I'm really affected by lighting. Like, I love sunlight. So I have mood lighting in my office and keep the overheads off because that's off-putting for my whole energy. So I try to do things in the space, bring in trinkets that remind me of life and peace, hang up some artwork. I think those are all helpful things wherever you are, whatever space you're working in. Even if it's a tiny cube, you've got those carpeted walls that you could utilize to build a world that helps you relax. That said, I did say I was in a lot of meetings today, and I'm very busy, and I'm not looking at any of those trinkets. But I am trying very hard to remind myself of the peace that I'm seeking.
I'm really glad you mentioned the phrase, I'm not looking at those trinkets. Because today we're going to talk about how the trinkets can be in you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah? The feng shui is within.
I like it.
Yeah. And then can you tell me really quickly some of the body parts that you notice are affected by that type of work?
Well, right now I had a pull in my shoulder when I was working on site on a mural, and it's been bothering me since then. So I'm seeing a chiropractor, but I'm really aware of aggravating my shoulder by locking in, not holding a mouse, but even if it's on the trackpad. I just extend my arm, and I have it here a lot, whether it's on my phone or on the computer. Keeping locked and not moving it often I'm aware of the tension that's creating. So I'm working hard to stay aware and keep changing how I'm working, but my shoulder's in pain.
Mm-hmm. Shoulders, upper body are really affected by that that stationary movement in the chair, low back.
And older bodies, I'm thankful that my lower back is okay, but for older bodies, because I'm officially older, my knees, if I sit for too long, I really notice how tight they are. It's a little harder to get up if I don't move often. I don't drink enough water. I'm beating myself up right now, and that's not good, but I'm telling you where I'm at.
We need to get to the feng shui inside.
Exactly, I'm telling you where I'm at so we can like put the right trinkets in. Immediately. So actually, let's start with that. It's actually, the trinkets within is a breath practice where we're channeling our ability to influence the energy in our space, which is directly connected to our ability to influence our energy within this space, right? So we can control that.
So I'm going to scoot just a little bit so you can see me. And we're going to start out, Lisa, with a breath energy practice. We're going to call this, in honor of you, feng shui trinkets.
I love it.
Okay, so you're going to take your hands, and I want to be mindful of the fact that you said you're experiencing something. So let's check in first. Where does this arm want to fall that actually feels good to you today? Is that in your range? Okay.
It's just when I go back a little, like the chiropractors have me do this, and I'm supposed to be able to go back further, and I'm in pain. So that kind of thing is like, I'm aware of it.
And that's awesome, because if this is no, then it's okay, right? We're honoring that today.
We have to.
With lots of loving feng shui trinkets.
I'm do my best.
So Lisa, just let your hands fall where they may, and anyone watching at home, just follow along with us, letting your hands fall where they may in a sense of relaxation. Begin to feel your feet pressing against your shoes or flat against the floor. Let your eyes softly flutter to just a faint gaze, or you can close your eyes. We're going to take just a moment to become present in this space. Begin to feel your feet connected to your legs, connected to your upper body, connected to your arms, connected to your head. And if you'd like to, as you're inhaling in your breaths, take a little bit of a deeper breath. Welcome in some ease into your chest. As you exhale, if it feels good to you, you can blow it out your mouth. Let's take a couple more of those, breathing in and breathing out. One more, breathing in and easing out. Let your hands gently rise up to your chest, either stacking your hands over your chest, or if it feels good to you, bringing your palms together in prayer at your heart center. Begin to think about the loving spaces that you enjoy outside of your workspace. And if you could, visualize the love from those people and places and things as an actual visual energy vortex radiating off of them. You're drawing that into your heart center. Breathe in, feel that energy magnified. Exhale out your mouth. And if you could, draw that energy, visualize yourself drawing the energy into your hands. So allow your eyes to start to open now. Maybe take a ball formation of the hands, and we're actually going to draw from our heart energy, and we're going to radiate it out in front of us. And everyone's in a different work environment, so you're going to have to adjust to your own space. Now draw that back in. Radiate love out. Let's link the breath with the movement. Inhaling, drawing love in. Exhale, radiating love out. One more time. Inhale. Radiate love into your space. Let your hands fall down to your knees. Rest here just for a moment and notice the feelings, the sensations of your body. We're often so into our heads at work that we lose touch with our body. Mindfulness gives us that moment to tap back into the connection. Now, Lisa, let your eyes gently open up. And I wanted to ask you, if twisting doesn't feel like it's something that you want to explore today, what is a range of motion that we could explore for your back?
I could twist.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Lisa,
I can
bring
do
your
this.
hands back to your knees. Take a moment. We're going to link the breaths. This is mindful. We have 15 minutes on our lunch break right now, and we're getting really trinkety. All right. So inhale, lift your right hand. Draw it to your heart center. Breathe in, radiate love. Exhale, radiate out. Draw your hand back out. Now lift it up. Is this okay? Yes. Tell me where your body says
to
this
here is good.
Yeah, good. Now, here comes the twist. Begin to turn to your left side and place one hand on top of the other. This is just gentle. This is not chiropractic. How does that feel?
Feels good.
Now let your chin follow your shoulder and let your body tell you where to stop. Inhale. Let your crown of your head reach up towards the ceiling. Beautiful, Lisa. Exhale. Hold here. Inhale, lift your right hand back up. We're untwisting, but we're radiating, right? We're trinkety feng shuiing, so we're seeing the energy moving from our hands into our space. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lift the left hand up, bring it to your heart center, draw that loving energy, and with the breath, radiate the love out. Reaching for a moment wherever it feels good and loving in the body. You can find any sense of stretch. And when you're ready, Lisa, go ahead and breathe in and then breathe out to your twist. Breathe in, lengthening through the spine, and then breathe out. Let your chin follow your shoulder any amount. Let's just rest here for about 2 breaths. Breathe in, find length. Exhale. One more time. Breathing out. And preparing to untwist. Inhale, lift your left hand. Radiating energy out into your space. Bring your hand down to your knees. Pause here for a moment. Would you like to explore your neck? Yeah?
Needs it.
We're going to play with the same motion. Do you know how we're going to get trinkety? Can you imagine? Okay. Inhale, right hand lifts back up. You know the motion. Reach. Stretch to where it feels comfortable. And then as you breathe out, this time you don't lower the hand, you bring it directly over to the side. So a twist to the side. Now, Lisa, watch me. Bring your hand back. Bend your elbow. Rest your forearm on your... She said, trinketies. You can stay here, everyone, or if you'd like to, lean to one side or the other. I'm feeling a calling in my body to lean a little bit to the right. And you're feeling, yes, so we're following our inner guide. And this is great. Everyone's body needs something different. And the fact that we're each doing something different means we're sitting in that pleasure energy together. Yeah, one more breath here. Lift back upright, and then gently bring your hand back up. Inhale, reach, exhale, breathe out, hand comes down, radiate. Yeah. Let's take it on the other side. Inhale, left hand. Actually, let's draw it to our heart first. I really like showering the trinketies. Yes. And as we breathe out, radiate out, and reach. Anywhere that feels good to you. This time we're going to swoop the left hand directly across. Let the forearm rest on top of your head, anywhere that feels good to you. You can stay right here because is definitely the sensation that Lisa felt from just resting there. And if it's calling you, go ahead and just bring a gentle stretch into the neck on the opposite side. I'm not pulling on my neck. I'm actually just resting my hand and my forearm on my head in such a way that the weight of gravity just provides a very gentle, easy, not forced stretch at all. So it feels really good. One more breath here. Yes, inhale, lift upright, and we're going to unwind from that beautiful twist, radiating our palms out. This is an energy practice. Bring your hand down. Let's just sit here for a moment. Do you notice how you feel?
Feels nice. It's good centering.
Yes, let's just take a moment. If you'd like to repeat a mantra with me, Lisa, you can bring your hands back to your heart. And we're going to do the same motion of drawing energy in, imagining the love we receive from those loving spaces and people, and then offering that abundance back out into our workspace. But we're going to repeat a mantra as we do it. So as we draw the love in, we say, I receive this loving energy. And as we put our hands out, we say, I create this loving energy, right? And then we draw our hands back in and we say, I influence this loving energy. And then we radiate back out and this energy influences me. So we'll just say it in a sense of I'll say it and you repeat it, okay? So inhale, feel your heart beat, that rhythm. We are here for a purpose. So loved because we are alive. Inhale, drawing in your energy, filled with love. Begin to draw your hands away from your body and out any way that feels good to you in your workspace. And then you inhale, draw your hands back in, and we prepare to affirm, I receive this loving
I
energy.
receive this loving energy.
Exhale it out, and I create this loving energy.
I create this loving energy.
Inhale, draw it in. This energy influences me.
This energy influences me.
And one last time, radiating out, I influence this energy.
I influence this energy.
In this space.
In this space.
Let your hands fall to your knees. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me.
It was wonderful.